So I had no idea that Joe was planning this.
Well, I think most people have known for a long time that I was going to propose to Erika at some point. I think my friends knew, my family knew, I think her family knew that I'd wanted to do it for a long time, and I was sort of just looking for the perfect opportunity and the right time because I wanted it to be exactly right.
Earlier in the week, I had been burned by a candle and received second-degree burns, so I was off work and in a lot of pain and really wasn't even sure that I wanted to go to this client dinner that he had planned for us for his firm.
I'm a meticulous planner, and when it comes to very cheesy, big romantic spectacles, which I am prone to, I take these things very seriously. So I decided to go as big as I could and to play her the grand piano in the lobby of the William Penn Hotel downtown, which took some doing. It took a lot more doing than I thought it was going to. The lobby of the William Penn Hotel is very special to me and very special to Erika because it's the place we were hanging out this one night after we first met and had been on a couple dates. We just ended up there after going out downtown with some of our friends, and we ended up in the lobby until about like 3 o'clock in the morning just talking. And my dad told me one time that the way he knew that my mom was the one he wanted to spend his life with, then he just thought one day to himself as they were walking down the street talking, I could talk to this girl forever. I would never get tired of talking to her. I could spend my whole life with her. And there is when I realized that about Erika. I realized for the first time I could just talk to this girl for the rest of my life. I could spend every day, all day with her.
We're on our way to the hotel and we walk in, and one of the things I said was, Joe, where are we going? You've given me no details about this dinner. Which conference room is it in?
So we get there, we get to the lobby, and we walk in, and it's just as beautiful as ever. And I start talking to Erika about, remember the time when we were here till 3 a.m. and we just talked and it was great. And, I glanced over at the piano and I said, I've always wanted to play that piano so bad. And she just looked at me and she was like, sure, go play the piano. Like, go for it.
And he was like, well, before we even go there, let's see if I can play that piano. Do you think they'll let me play it?
It took me about 3 weeks for them to actually agree to let me play this piano for 2 or 3 minutes. Apparently it was donated by the conductor of the Pittsburgh Symphony many years ago, and it's a very special piano, and they only let people play it who are professionals usually, and so I got a lot of pushback from the staff. I thought I was just going to walk up there and they were going to be like, oh, that's so lovely, it's great, like we'll just let you do it, and that did not happen.
I, of course, was like, no, they're not going to let you play that piano. And we walked up to it, and this guy came over and was like, sir, excuse me, you cannot play that piano. We don't let anyone play it. And it was locked.
So I go over to the piano, and I go to lift the cover, and it's locked. And my heart just sinks like into my stomach. I didn't know what to do. And I'm just thinking, oh my God. I got their agreement, I don't know what to do. And so I'm talking to the concierge for like 10 minutes, trying to figure this out. She finally comes back out from behind the desk as soon as Erika walks up, and Erika's saying, it's been 10 minutes. She's like, what's going on? So the lady comes out, sees Erika, and she just looks at me and says, sir, you're all set.
He comes back and he's like, well, before we go to the dinner, I bet the piano's unlocked.
And I can't for the life of me believe how she didn't know at that point what was happening, but she didn't.
So we go back and it's still locked.
And then miraculously, as I'm trying to open it, some guy walks over and says, sir, would you like to play the piano? And my eyes light up and I say, yes, I would love to just play one song. And I start thinking, okay, maybe this is actually going to happen. So I sit down at the piano and Erika sits down next to me and I play Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran, which has sort of been our song throughout our relationship.
And he starts playing Ed Sheeran's Thinking Out Loud, which was very popular whenever we first started dating. And it seemed like every romantic moment we were having, that song would come on the radio, or it would come on as somebody's ringtone, or somebody would be driving by in a car with that song playing. So it had kind of become a staple in our relationship. And then I knew what was going on. And I immediately just made eye contact with him and started crying.
And I think Erika figured out about halfway through the song what was going on, and she started crying, and I started crying, and it's getting hard to actually get the words out. But I finished the song, And I get down on one knee, and I just remember having the greatest feeling. It was the greatest feeling in my life, that moment. And tears are coming down my face, and she said yes. And that was really the best moment of my life.
And said the most beautiful and amazing things to me, and started crying whenever he talked about me being his best friend and how special the William Penn Hotel was, because that was the first place that I felt like I had met the person that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, and one of the first places that he realized he was in love with me. And he asked, and I said yes, and I went down and kissed him, and then we were standing up and hugging, and they brought us champagne, and everyone in the crowd came and congratulated us, and I just could not have asked for a more special and personal and unique and thoughtful and amazing proposal.
It was such a relief having that part over, but I knew I still had a little bit of work left. So I had Erika call her mom to give the photographers time to get over to the HYP club. And, you know, she's calling her mom and they're crying. Little does she know her mom's like 500 feet away, which I thought was pretty funny. She was on the phone, so she didn't even know where she was going. So I just sort of steered her towards the HYP club. And as we're getting closer and closer, she's still on the phone with her mom, and she hangs up at the perfect time as we're like crossing the threshold of this place. And I just turn her slightly, and she sees everybody's face. And it was just such a special moment.
And by that point, I looked up and just saw everyone's face. And of course, I saw my mom's face first, and she comes right out and gives me a hug. And I walked right up, and my dad immediately was kind of choked up, and he gave me the second hug. And, you know, both of them wanted to look at my ring. And then I kind of turned right after they looked at my ring, and they were both hugging Joe. And that just made me choke up all over again because it's so great that they welcome him into our family like that. And I think the moment after that, his sisters both came and hugged me, and they called me sister for the first time, and I've never had a sister, so that was such a special, special moment for me. Then I realized how many of our friends were there. I just started crying all over again because I had always wanted to celebrate with my family and friends right after an engagement. He had just paid very close attention over the last couple years and really planned every detail out that was ever important to me at any point in time.